Let's make sure that you can hear us. All right.
Yes.
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
hello.
I'm Megan,
I'm Matt.
and you're watching
The
The Night
Night Owl.
Owl. Sorry, guys. I had to share this on the YouTube channel. We are using Melon.
Melon.
And yeah, we are able to, I'm very focused now because, we've had a couple episodes where they couldn't hear us. So just had to make sure. So I'm Megan.
I'm Matt.
And this is the Night Owl Chicago, an all-inclusive podcast that talks about music, art, and life, and everything in between. So we're using Melon to record. We're using my camera, which is a Sony A7 III, crispy 4K.
Crispy.
Yeah, and if you are watching us on a 4K device, great, even better. And Melon actually allows us to record onto multiple platforms, I think up to 5. I'm working on maybe saving some money to be able to share my screen with you guys, because apparently you can't share screen on the membership that I have, which is okay. I know Zoom does that for free. That's
Zoom,
you get some and you win some. It's fine. But yeah, this is our Sunday night because we went to a wedding this weekend. It was very, very fun. I was actually a bridesmaid, hence the beautiful manicure. He doesn't have a manicure, but
No.
He did escort me. He was my +1, and it was nice to be able to have all of my friends. My friend that was getting married, like literally everyone she's ever known in her entire 35 years of life was there. And it was just great to see somebody who actually could keep, keep in contact and keep in connection and communication with people that she has known, which is something that I need to work on. I don't always keep in touch with people, even people I've recently met. It's just something I need to work on my own. But it was just nice to be able to see those people and know that, hey, she's a great person. She's kind. She's sweet. She's very funny. She's got a good work ethic. And the people that she invited to the wedding were just as great. So all in all, great wedding, great weekend. Matthew and I were able to kind of bond even more with our love and be able to see the love that not just between her and her husband, but everyone around us. I mean, there was no drama, there was no craziness. It was just all big bundle of love, right?
All big.
Yeah. So that was our weekend. So that's why we weren't able to record on Friday, because we had the rehearsal dinner on Friday. It was at this giant church, and we had to kind of know where to walk and where to go and who's doing what. And, so we stayed in a hotel for a weekend, which was nice because we don't really get to do that when it's not work related, which is great. And we just got back today, and yeah, we're going to bring our stories to you tonight. So grab a snack and buckle up. Let's get started. What did you have to talk about today? Did you have anything exciting? I think I went first last time, so you're welcome to share your stories.
I have lots of stuff. It's up to you. Where shall we go?
We can go anywhere, Matthew. It's up to you.
Oh.
I'm going to share this on our Facebook so everyone can tune in.
So I thought maybe we would start with the most recent, because even I was perplexed, and once again it has kind of that, I thought, that sports angle, as it does include an event that occurred here in Chicago. Occurred right there at the Soldier Field, right where beloved Bears play, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing there this weekend. They played elsewhere. They were down in Nashville, Tennessee. They won. Go Bears. That's not what I'm here to talk about, right? I'm here to talk about what was called, quote unquote, the Donda event by one Yeezus, right? By one Kanye West, that occurred at, yes, Chicago's very own Soldier Field here. And in that event, it was brought up because apparently part of the field was set ablaze. Part of the field was set afire. Uh-oh. I am sure they did not encounter or expect that, but I guess our mayor approved that, so I guess good for her, which allowed one Kanye West to walk out onto our field and set it afire. Not only Kanye West to set that field afire, but guess who he brought with him? Not only did he reconstruct his childhood home, not just the face of it, by the way, not just representation, but it would appear to be the whole freaking thing in the middle of Soldier Field. with the cross on top. But he also brought out a couple of special people. Apparently, he brought out on stage with him one, the baby, right, who's in a lot of the news controversy, right? He got dropped by a lot of festivals because he has made a lot of homophobic slurs.
Once you do that, that's it. You lose your money.
Matter of fact, I think we even kind of, when we talked about it, right, from Lollapalooza, did not like somebody like Miley Cyrus and a few other artists. Him out. Not just actually didn't call him out, but actually offered to say, hey, help him, and say, hey, here's a hand, we'll help you understand.
They wanted to educate. Yeah.
I'm not sure that necessarily happened here this past week. And guess who he also brought out on stage? Marilyn Manson.
Why isn't he in prison?
Why is he in prison? What are you doing?
Isn't there like 10 people that come out allegedly or something? Or one of his
the list continues to grow, apparently.
Yeah. And he's got so much clout. It's sad because it was in the midst of all these other celebrities coming out at the same time. And I told Matthew, yet another one bites the dust. And there are people that I never was into that stuff. I never really idolized them, but it was like another celebrity that I kind of liked. And I was like, oh, he's the underdog. He's kind of different. No one understands him. And now I'm like, oh, he's a piece of shit. And then like everything you've ever done that was good is now just washed away. In my mind, it's washed away now.
You kind of thought maybe he was on the same level as maybe a Dee Snider or an Alice Cooper, who was all about theater and stood up for free speech. And as it really turns out, yuck.
Yeah.
Kind of far as what he has or who he has treated, especially far as women in
and
his
people
life.
Couldn't come out because they're terrified. I mean, especially the early 90s to 2000s. It's like it was just a weird time, and
so very weird that when Kanye West of Chicago would bring out one Brian Werner of Ohio, aka Marilyn Manson.
How would they even know each other like that?
I do not.
Would they even hang out in the same circles?
If I had to speculate, right, my guess is Kanye.
Did he do it for?
Kanye thought he probably was saving them.
Maybe he was doing it for shock value.
I think he thought he was saving them. Maybe I don't
think he gives a shit that much about people. I think he just was doing it for shock value because that's what Kanye does. He does things for shock value, like when he died.
But I was completely unaware that this event was going to happen. Apparently, he is known for kind of having these listening parties or these large listening parties. The last couple of years, they've occurred kind of like down in Atlanta. Here, they were at Soldier Field. 40,000 people showing up for this here event, and wow. I am glad we missed it.
Lori, what's going on?
Now, the other thing, Lori, why did you allow this event and then you did not,
from Chicago.
And then you did not require them to check vaccine or cards?
Oh, for the audience or the concert
they did not require any of that.
Don't you have to wear one when you're going to the Cubs games?
They did not require it for this event here, but what they did offer was apparently vaccines. If you wanted, they had 2,000 on hand apparently.
At the event?
At the event.
I've been seeing that. I've been actually seeing QR codes now for people to actually find places to go get vaccinated. Because at Smart Bar, just a little side note, when Matt and I have been going, I still was going after Matt wasn't going. And I've been noticing that it says no mask, ? No drink. And so we were thinking, okay, now we have to wear masks over there, even if we're vaccinated, because, they have the mandate. So even if you are vaccinated, it's up to the business to decide if you should wear one or not. But now they're saying, but Smart Bar was like, no, you're fine. If you come in with a mask, you show your vaccine, your card, you're good. If you don't have one, you have to wear it at all times. And they were very good at watching people and looking. And when I noticed the last Queen that I went to, it was a mixed bag. And it was half the amount of people that usually go to Queen. So it wasn't even that busy. But there were a good amount of people that were wearing them. And I asked one girl who was wearing hers, I asked if she was vaccinated, and she said she was, but she just wanted to wear one just to be safe. She wasn't from here.
And nothing wrong with that, absolutely.
But I've been noticing that has the no drink, no mask. And then the next one says, do you need help? And it has a QR code, and it says, here's a list of places.
That's cool.
So they're actually giving you some literature and saying
we
here.
Go, but this event here this past week was one of those where none of that apparently was there. So I'd be curious to see what happens. games.
Interesting. That
What
would.
do you got?
I'm gonna
Ariel?
try and find some video footage of that to see. I'm actually gonna see if I can find some
Let's
video
do some
footage.
follow up on that.
Yeah,
like I
and
said.
I'll post it on our Facebook page. We have a Night Owl Facebook page, and we also have an Instagram now.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the local TV stations.
Oh, I'm sure I
paper,
can find
they
some
all,
stuff,
They all did
for
a
sure.
story on it and interviewed
Yeah.
people and have video.
Anything that
event.
happens at Wrigleyville, they
No,
Wrigley
it's down
Sta-
in Soldier Field.
or Soldier Field. Anything that happens.
That's
there.
right.
Oh,
Kanye
that's
went
the
Soldier
thing.
Field.
See that's what I don't know much about what their policies are. Then I'm thinking Wrigley. I'm sorry, Soldier Field. That's that ugly spaceship looking thing.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. That's
so
where
if
the
they have
Bears
football
play.
games, then do they have to wear masks? Because I've had friends that
Yes.
wore masks to the Cubs games.
So they kind of have there, but what is notable about this event, because they did set fire to the field, right, is the fact that it is a shared field, that the Chicago Bears, the NFL team here, does not own that field. And the wear and tear when there are events like that prior to, Bears playing on there, it's hard on the field. It's hard on the crew that has to put it together. It's kind of hard on the crew that has to kind of get it to the specification that I think the NFL expects, the specification that the Bears should expect.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have somebody like Kanye who sets fire to the middle of the field, it's challenging. Thank you, Lori. Why are you allowing this? Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. It's really weird that like that she allows certain things, and then you know,
have something, or am I gonna keep rolling?
No, you're good. I'm gonna go next. So the one I have, it's on my phone here. I have a few topics. I have 2 topics. So, like I said, I can't share this with you guys, but I will put the links in the chat on our YouTube and our Facebook so you can watch for yourself. But this is essentially a article that's by BuzzFeed, which, like I said, they're trash. But I like to. This is a gossip episode, so we're gonna go with the gossip topics, right? So this one's about Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. We know they were in The Star Is Born, and then there were 2 more before that. Barbra Streisand was in this 1973 one, and there was one in 1950 something. So there's a couple
the original,
of them, right?
The original even before that. But I think most people, when they look at it, look to the Barbra Streisand version, right, with one Chris Christopherson.
I think they're mostly focusing on Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper just because of the star quality. Not that Barbara, if you're watching this, girl, I love you. I'm just saying, this is early on now. This is the latest version. But they were talking about how they got called out by Barbra Streisand and saying that the remake, I guess it left people confused about her remarks. When they were filming it, she said that she really loved it. She said that, that Lady Gaga was wonderful. She thinks it's great. She's seen it before. She thinks that they're going to have it's going to be a big hit. So this is before it kind of started to come into theaters and become popular. I think it only did it come to theaters? Was this before the quarantine it came out? Okay.
Yeah.
So then after that, you were able to watch it on stream. I think before you had to pay for it like on Amazon or HBO or something. And now it's like on Hulu. So you can watch it for free. And so she said in an interview that she basically said that she was confused because she wanted it to be more of an original type movie she wanted to be more unique instead of original. So the reason being is that I think it was Beyonce and someone else was going to be the 2 main characters instead of Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. So it was Beyonce and another character. I think they were both they were people of color, and they couldn't do it. She said at first when I heard it was going to be done, it was supposed to be Will Smith and Beyonce, and I thought that's interesting.
That would have been an interesting take,
really
right?
Make it different again. Different kind of music, integrated actors. Yep. I thought it was a great idea. So I was surprised when I saw how alike it was to the version that I did in 1976, she admitted. And then she said that the interview then suggested that perhaps the similarities between the 2 films were a compliment to Barbara's work, to which that she shrugged and said, I don't know. She went on to say that she thought Gaga and Cooper's take was ultimately the wrong idea. even if it was a box office and critical success. I can't argue with success, but I don't care so much about success as I do originally. She said, in fact, the critic left some people on Twitter baffled as she said that it wasn't original either. In fact, it was the third iteration of the story. The first it was 1937 with Jeanette Gaynor in the starring role, and then Judy Garland taking the helm in 1954.
Okay.
And then she said that she just would rather it be more unique. People were kind of mad about that. So I'm going to read some of the tweets and then we'll comment, okay? And then I'll tell you my reasoning, because I'm on her side in this one. I understand what she's saying. And I also want to say before I read these these tweets, people jump to conclusions. They get online and they say stuff without really kind of thinking about what these people are saying or what someone's saying. So I'm going to read some of these tweets. So someone says, I think she's mainly talking about the story. 1937, farm girls travel to Hollywood to become an actress. 1954, small successful singer encouraged to pursue movies. 1976, performing in a small bar, Esther is discovered and becomes a successful musician. That's the parallel to 2018. So someone else said that Barbara praised Gaga. In fact, she's been supportive with her. What she's talking about is the screenplay and production that didn't involve Gaga. The 2018 version has new things, but the storyline's the same. And then some thought it was a testament to Gaga's talent that she could shine in a role that wasn't entirely original. And someone said they tweeted, the way Barbara's comments prove it was Gaga and Bradley's talent, chemistry, and ability to bring the story to life. Not basic plot points, but brought audiences to theaters. It was no secret that ASIB was a remake, and people still paid money to see it. Brad got too powerful. And then someone else said that, that she was shading them, that she was jealous. And what I think, okay, so this is what I think. I think that what she was trying to say was, Black people in this movie, amazing. We need more ethnicity. We need more difference of diversity. Whether the story plot is the same or not. That's not what she's talking about. She's talking about the fact that they're white actors. Again, 1973, white actors. 1953. I mean, they're all white actors, right? And so the fact that Black people had to go through those tough times to become celebrities and become musicians and singers, they had to kind of go with being in that racially in charged roles of being the maid, being the slave, being the help, being the best friend that no one really cares about, being typecast. And now having Beyonce and Will Smith, two very, very powerful people, but still very humble in their work, could have had those characters or had those roles. That would have changed everything.
And you could have really still kept it the same story, but really given a different look. And I think maybe that's what
she was talking about. She wasn't shading Gaga.
It's the same story, but over the years, just been an uptick of difference. And between 76 and 2018, there really wasn't a difference between those two versions of it. And what a wonderful time it would have been to have quite a out of the box type, just let's introduce it to an even wider version of an audience. And I would agree with that. Maybe perhaps there could have been another movie, maybe a similar story that Bradley and Lady Gaga could have done. They definitely have chemistry. That's one reason why.
Beyonce was in Carmen, dude. That was a play. It was based off of a play from like the 1600s or 1700s. Yeah,
I would have. I think I would have liked.
She was the star of that.
Beyonce. And
I would have
Will
loved
Smith
to see her act.
A movie.
I would have loved to see her in another movie. She hasn't been in a movie in ages. I don't even think she's been acting that long, really. She's just been focusing on her music, and now she's a mom, and that's great. I mean, and Lady Gaga is about the people. She's a gay icon. She's for LGBTQI. She's for Black Lives Matter. So like, I don't think that Barbara's a gay icon too. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, you guys don't need to shade Barbara and say like, hey, she's just jealous, or she just talked about the plot, how it was the same. No, she has no control over that. That's not her. She has no power to change the plot. And I'm sure they'll make another one in maybe another 10 years or 15 years. Maybe they'll have Jaden Smith in it. Maybe they'll have someone else. Maybe they'll actually finally
Yeah,
have,
maybe they'll
you
really
know,
do it up here. Maybe much like what the
maybe everyone will be different, like Cinderella.
I was just
Everyone
gonna
will be
say, you
ethnic.
see that new version that's
Yes.
going to be out there? Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
that one with the guy from Pose that already came out, right? That Cinderella. I've been seeing it on Amazon. The commercials for it. Is it not out yet? I think
with
it's out.
Cabela
I think it's out
and
now.
Right,
Yeah.
and everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
no, that
plays
is
the fairy
soon to be out.
godmother.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So and be sure to check that out, and I will link the episode of that because there's an episode that we do talk about Pose, about the actor that played in Pose. He was the MC, and that he, is kind of changing the game with being a male. He identifies as male, but being a male fairy godmother, and just changing the game. And I think that is similar to. I'm getting goosebumps. It's similar to that Cinderella movie with Brandy and Whitney Houston, and rest in peace, and and Whoopi Goldberg, and just amazing cast. So I think that's what she was kind of saying. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but when I saw the video, and like I said, I'll link the video of her interview. I don't think she was saying shading Gaga. No one could really shade Gaga. She's amazing. She's a great person. She does so much for.
I mean, I think it's easy,
people.
right, to make that leap. They're both from New York. They're both kind of musical
She's not jealous.
icons.
Believe me, she is
I
not
do
jealous
not
of Lady
believe,
Gaga,
though,
honey.
she is jealous or
No.
in any way.
Barbara
yeah.
Streisand's jealous of nobody, honey. She is in her own world.
Water.
She walks on water, honey. She walks on wine.
Yeah.
She walks on all the liquids. So that was the first one I wanted to talk about. And I'm glad you agree with me on that. And me and Matthew are on it today. We are on a wavelength today, honey. Because I just said what you were going to say, and you're saying what I'm going to say. So this is the next topic I want to talk about. And I do have to read it because they're two different articles. So this one I'm going to read first. This was from NPR, which is great. Amazing news station, amazing news website. They have been around for probably, I'm going to say 100 years, but whatever. They're journalists, and you can listen to them on the radio. Sometimes they even have Wait, Don't Tell Me, which I hope is coming back to Chicago because they usually have it at Chase Auditorium. Sometimes they have it at the Millennium Park. And they have Wait, Don't Tell Me, which is a really fun game you can play with them. But this is the website, or this is the article. It came out like 2 years ago, so it's kind of old. But it's something that I thought was interesting. It's about Mattel, the company that makes Barbie. They made new gender-neutral dolls. So now we've been seeing about the influx of, I think, from probably the past 3 years of gender-neutral humans. Non-binary humans coming out and saying I'm non-binary, I identify as there's androgynous, which is a look, right? It's presenting as either way. You can go male, female, and then there's non-binary, which means I don't identify as female, I identify as male. And then there's gender presenting, which means I'm a man, but I want to present as female today, or I want to wear a dress, or I want to wear, and like you said, again, right? We don't see gender with clothing. Matthew and I don't see that. Wear what you want to wear, honey.
Wear what you want to wear.
Put the lipstick on, paint the nails, do what you want, So Mattel made gender neutral dolls, and they're letting kids have that form of expression that they, through the toy, they can say, hey, this is cool. I like the clothing. I like the skin tone. I like the hair. I don't care if it's female or male. And really, why would we sexualize dolls anymore? Because we're kind of growing into that progression where we're like, don't really need to sexualize dolls anymore. Sorry, Barbie, I love you, but we don't need to sexualize dolls anymore. And for kids, you want to have a doll that looks like you, like American Girl doll. So Mattel was trying to do gender neutral dolls. And the company had said, this is the senior vice president of Mattel Fashion Doll Design. She said, this line allows all kids to express themselves freely, which is why it resonates so strongly with them. We're hopeful that Creatable World will encourage people to think more broadly about how kids can all benefit from doll play. So Creatable World is the doll line. That's the line that makes the clothing and the hair and the skin tones and stuff. So Creatable World is what does the design for Mattel. So it says that while researching the dolls, Mattel spoke to over 250 families with children who identify across the gender spectrum, which I thought was great. They actually put the work in. It says adults who identify as non-binary didn't have toys like these when they grew up. Molly Woodstock, a gender educator and co-host of the podcast Gender Reveal. Hello, we'll do a shout out.
Yeah.
Gender Reveal podcast by Molly Woodstock is one of those people. It's unarguably good that all children are being given the option to play with some sort of dolls that doesn't have a neatly assigned gender or gender roles, Woodstock said. Just the social and cultural validation of trans and non-binary gender identities through this doll feels really powerful. Woodstock, who started identifying as non-binary 3 years ago, thinks that this kind of representation at a younger age could have helped them figure out their gender identity at an earlier age, which kudos to you. If you out there have or are children or teens with, that ability to know, hey, I know who I am. Great. I'm so happy for you because, as I identify as gender fluid. So I know I'm female. I present myself as female, but there are certain ways that I feel more masculine or, maybe want to show that in my art. But I didn't really know that until I was in my 20s. And I was like, okay, I'm going to surround myself with more artists and people that are like me and see if that clicks. And of course it did. So for kids that are doing that now, and if your kids are doing that now, support them. Make sure that they're happy and they're healthy, because sometimes they can't come to you. Sometimes they feel like they're weird or they're different, right? And there's no one they can really identify with. So a doll really helps. And then, it can pass down through generation. So Woodstock says that they're hesitant to fully accept the doll, saying that it still has some ways to go before being fully inclusive. I really worry that the cultural concept of non-binary is this singular third androgynous gender, which is the doll portraying, which is what I said before. You're presenting or portraying gender fluidity, gender bending, right? That's not the reality of a lot of non-binary people. We can't be liberated from gender binary if we're just making it a gender tyranny. She said that she would also, they also said that they would like to see the dolls produced with that body diversity in mind. So maybe different, maybe a little plus size, maybe a little, maybe some wrinkles, maybe some, scabs, maybe some scars, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be kind of cool. Like, oh, this mine has a big old scar on his leg or something. While the number of people who identify as non-binary is not clear, Pew Research Center study found that a third of people who were born between 1995 to 2015 know someone who goes by gender-neutral pronouns. I didn't know it went that far back. So 1995 is millennial, right? So that's like millennials right now. So that's like 1991 is 30. So like anyone between the ages of 27, right? And my age. Mattel has been criticized for its lack of diversity and unrealistic portrayal of women in the Barbie doll line. The company has taken steps to address this, such as releasing a hijab-wearing Barbie and introducing different body types. So there's that one. So what do you think of that, Matthew?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, the more diversity,
The better, right?
Why pressure kids? And never really understood that. And it seems like there's always a pressure, or just they're just kids, right?
They're just kids, and like I said, with cartoons and stuff, like not sexualizing them. Like,
There always seems to be this early rush to be able to sexualize kids.
Yeah, I mean, especially with anime. Anime is
and
always a little bit of a gray area because a lot of adults like anime, so sometimes anime is a little more like mature looking than what kids would understand. So this is another article opposed to this. It's by humanparts.medium.com. And they said that they're having issues with it. So it says that I think that Time magazine broke the news that Mattel would be releasing the doll. And it says that, let's see. Oh, it says, okay, so this person actually wrote this themselves. So this is actually an article that someone wrote themselves. So I'm not going to read this because this is a personal article. So I'll actually add this in the description, but I'm not going to read this one. I thought it was actually a news article, but it's someone that wrote it like on their own opinion. So if you have any comments, you're more than welcome to share the comments in the description or in the chat. Make sure that they are PG-13, no swearing, nothing like that. I know we swear, but you guys can't swear. Make sure it's safe for work. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting because, you know, having those American Girl dolls come out with "You look like me" kind of line, and where like everyone can have a doll that looks like them and feel like safer and know that, hey, I don't have to have a doll.
Yeah, I mean, now that we know
doesn't
that,
look like
right,
me.
representation matters. It's important that people
Mhm.
see people that look like them and represent them, and that's very important, and we understand that. I mean, as far as giving confidence and empowering people, and
Mhm.
so absolutely.
I think it matters. So we will end the stream tonight, and we want to tell you that, guys, that we love you. We hope that you stay safe and have a good week coming up. Be sure to wash your hands,
Jump
give
out of
each
the
other,
street.
yeah, give each
Jumping
other
out of the
calls,
street.
communicate,
That's right.
and wear a goddamn
And
mask.
mask.
I'm Megan,
I'm Matt.
and you are watching
The
The Night
Night
Owl.
Owl.